Two men, both 62, both just retired this year. Both have exactly $800,000 sitting in a traditional IRA. Neither one of them touches it in 2026. Fast forward 13 years. One of them has paid about $110,000 in federal taxes on his conversions. The other has paid over $240,000, and he is not done paying. His required distributions will keep coming every December for the rest of his life. And when he dies, his daughter will inherit an account the IRS owns 24% of. Same starting balance, same birthday, same financial advisor even. The only thing different was a single decision made or not made in 2026. If you are 62, not retired yet, and you have never done a Roth conversion, I want to show you why this specific year matters more than any other year on your timeline, and why almost everything you have heard about Roth conversion urgency in the last 3 years is now officially wrong. Let me start by killing a narrative. For the last 3 years, every retirement channel on YouTube told you the same thing. Convert before 2026 because the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act is going to sunset. 12% becomes 15%. 22% becomes 25%. Do it now or lose the window forever. On July 4, 2025, Congress passed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. People in the financial planning world call it OBBBA. Buried in that law was a provision that made the TCJA tax brackets permanent, not extended, permanent. The 12% bracket stays at 12. The 22% bracket stays at 22. The sunset that every advisor was planning around for 3 years just disappeared, which means every urgent Roth conversion video published before last summer is now out of date. But here is what almost nobody is telling you. The urgency did not disappear. It moved. There are 3 reasons 2026 is still a clean window, reasons that have nothing to do with tax rates. And all 3 of them are on a clock most people have never heard about. First, the window itself. If you are 62 today, you were born in 1964. Under the Secure 2.0 Act, your required minimum distributions do not start until age 75. That gives you 13 years before the IRS forces your hand. 13 years where you, not the government, decide what comes out of your traditional IRA, and when. After 75, the choice is gone. Your required distribution is calculated by dividing your December 31st balance by an IRS life expectancy factor. Whether you need the money or not, it hits your tax return. And once your traditional IRA balance crosses about $1.5 million, your first required distribution alone is enough to push you into the 22% bracket, before you add a single dollar of Social Security. Every year you wait to convert is one less year of controllable income, and every year you wait, your IRA balance grows, which means the same conversion dollar costs more in tax. That math never changed. OBBBA did not touch it. And it is the reason 2026 still matters, even though the sunset argument is dead. Now, the 3 reasons that make this specific year cleaner than 2027, 2028, or 2029. Reason 1. The IRMAA lookback, Medicare's income-related monthly adjustment amount, IRMAA for short, is a surcharge on Part B and Part D premiums. It uses your modified adjusted gross income from 2 years ago. If you convert a large chunk of your IRA in 2026, the surcharge does not hit until 2028. If you wait until you are 64 to convert, the surcharge hits the same year you go on Medicare. Conversion at 62 is the quietest year on the runway. Under the 2026 brackets, a married couple filing jointly stays completely out of IRMAA by keeping modified adjusted gross income under $218,000. Cross it by a single dollar and you pay the full first-tier surcharge for the entire year. It is not a slope, it is a cliff. And the only way to plan around a cliff is to know where the edge is. Reason 2. The senior bonus deduction. OBBBA created a brand new deduction, $6,000 per spouse for filers 65 and older. For a married couple where both spouses are 65 plus, that is $12,000 on top of the standard deduction. But here is the catch. It phases out starting at $150,000 of modified, adjusted gross income. It disappears completely at $250,000, and the entire deduction expires after the 2028 tax year. If your spouse is already 65 or older, the household-level math on a 2026 conversion is dramatically different from a 2029 conversion. If you are both 62, you miss the senior bonus entirely, which is why the window a 62-year-old is working with is the pure bracket window, not the senior bonus window. That distinction matters, and almost nobody is doing the math on it. Reason 3, SALT. The state and local tax deduction cap jumped from $10,000 to $40,000 under OBBBA, but only through 2029. In 2030, it drops back to 10. If you live in California, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, or any other high-tax state, the next 4 years are the only window where a Roth conversion can be paired with a fully deductible state income tax bill. After 2029, $30,000 of that deduction vanishes. 3 ticking clocks, all of them harder to explain than rates are going up, all of them real. Let me put real numbers on this. Michael is 62. He just retired. His traditional IRA holds $800,000. He is not taking Social Security until his full retirement age of 67. He lives off a taxable brokerage account paying about $30,000 in dividends and capital gains each year. He and his wife file jointly. In 2026, the top of the 12% bracket for a married couple is $100,800 of taxable income. After the standard deduction of $32,200, that is $133,000 of gross income capacity. Before they cross into 22%, Michael already has $30,000 coming in. That leaves about $103,000 of room to convert at a blended effective rate of around 10%. Because the first $32,200 of conversion is absorbed by the standard deduction and pays nothing. If Michael converts $100,000 per year from age 62 to 72, he pays approximately $110,000 in federal tax over those 11 years. His traditional IRA shrinks from $800,000 towards zero. His Roth, assuming a 6% average return, is now holding over $1.3 million. Growing completely tax-free. No required minimum distributions. Ever. Not for him. Not for his wife if she survives him. Not for 10 years for his daughter when she inherits. If Michael does nothing until 75, his $800,000 IRA grows to roughly $1.7 million. His first required distribution is about $74,000. Stack that on Social Security and his dividends, and he is firmly in the 22% bracket, paying IRMAA surcharges every month, and he stays there for the rest of his life. Lifetime federal tax difference between the two paths, approximately $200,000, and that is before you account for what happens when his wife survives him and has to file as a single filer. Because the 22% bracket for a single filer starts at roughly half the income of the married bracket, the widow penalty alone is worth another video. Now, the question I get every single time I explain this: what if I do not have $100,000 of conversion room? Fair question. Your conversion capacity is a function of one formula: the top of your target bracket, minus your expected taxable income, minus your standard deduction, equals your conversion room. If you are still working with a full salary, that number is small or negative. The conversion window does not really open until earned income stops. That is why 62, specifically the year you retire, is the structural starting line. Before retirement, you do not have the room. After 75, the IRS takes the choice away from you. You do not have to max it out. If you converted $25,000 this year instead of zero, you would pay roughly $2,500 in federal tax, and you would move $25,000 into an account the IRS cannot touch for the rest of your life. The worst conversion is the one you never started. 3 steps to act on this. 1. Pull up a retirement planner. Bolden and New Retirement both have free tiers. Model your taxable income for every year from now until 75. The years with the lowest projected income are your highest value conversion years. Those are the years you want to fill. 2. Set a dollar target, not a percentage. Start with $20,000 to $30,000 this year if you have never done one. You can always do more. You cannot undo a conversion. The old recharacterization rule was eliminated in 2018 and has not come back. 3. The 2026 conversion deadline is December 31, 2026, not April 15, 2027. Unlike IRA contributions, there is no grace period. Miss the calendar year, miss the year, the old reason to convert, beat the rate hike, that is dead. The new reasons are quieter, harder to explain in a thumbnail. And every one of them is on a clock. If you are 62 in 2026, you have 11 usable conversion years before your required distributions start, and every one of those years is worth more than the one before it. Next Thursday, we are looking at the flip side. What happens to the retiree who does nothing, hits age 75, and discovers that the $1 million 401k that felt safe for 30 years has quietly become the most predictable paycheck the IRS will ever collect? Sources and timestamps in the description. If this cleared something up that was confusing before, the subscribe button costs you nothing, and it tells YouTube to put this channel in front of more people who need the correction. I will see you next Thursday.